Hello everybody, it's Deadfrog51 here and welcome to Laguna Seca with the POWERMAXED Jaguars in another virtual racing pro league race. And as you can see, I'm on pole position from the start. You just got Sponge just behind me, Cpl Hamster as well. Also Falcon in the mix just behind them in the orange and red cars, the Hamster team racing, trying to go over the... This race is not for any championship points or anything. It's basically a race from the with all the drivers from more or less the championship and that forum. If you want to go across to the virtual racing pro forum, just search that in Google, go on there, apply for a license. You don't have to pay anything, no money involved, just apply for a license, get accepted. You can join in with these races and maybe the championship races. But as you can see at the moment, I've got a decent lead over Toxic, who is now in second place. We do class him as a hamster racing guy. We raced with him well before we joined these championships. I joined the POWERMAXED team. So I head down the corkscrew for the first time around this long left-hander. What we've noticed with these cars, they stick to the road. Unbelievable. The setup we've more or less all got is no downforce. No, the downforce setting, we've got all that down to 0. You can't adjust the front, so you do get a little bit of understeer from time to time, but adjust the rear downforce all the way down to 0 and you still have so much grip. These cars just stick to the ground. Sometimes they have too much grip, or you have too much confidence in them, and when they snap, they do snap and they will throw you off the track. Especially with a track like this. The sand, as I described it earlier on in the day, it is like the Kraken, the big giant octopus thing in the sea. As soon as you touch it with the lightest bit of, maybe just a paint on the outside of your tyre, it grabs you and drags you into a barrier, killing your race off. Sometimes it's been an advantage to use it to just poke it, tempt fate a little bit, as you saw that long swooping quick left-hander in 4th gear down the corkscrew again. It helps drag the car around, but it's not always the best thing to do. For you eagle-eyed viewers as well, may have noticed the graphics have gone down a little bit on my settings. This is due to the new Windows 10. Now, when I'm not recording, when I'm just playing the game as normal, I can put the graphics up a little bit higher, in fact, than what I normally have them on, and it looks stunning and beautiful and it runs fine. But as soon as I try and record anything, it lags. That's including the recorder. So I've had to dull down the graphics below what I normally have them, and so the recorder works just fine. Windows 10, I'd advise just stay off it for a little bit, let all the updates come out. For a lot of games need updates for Windows 10. But back to the racing. We're only on lap 3. Let's come up. This is a quick left-hander where you just tempt your fate by clipping the gravel or the sand on the inside. It rotates the car a bit better than just slamming on and turning in. The corkscrew, the infamous corkscrew, very difficult corner. It's a corner where you can get overconfident, especially on the entry. Basically a little tiny hill before the entry to the corner. Now, you want to be braking hard into the corkscrew, well, into the beginning of the corkscrew, but the car lifts, so you do tend to lock up sometimes going into the corner. What we noticed in the race as well, compared to qualifying, is the front end bouncing about when trying to turn into the corners. So try to turn left here, the front end will be bobbling about. You can feel it through the steering wheel. You don't want to turn too hard or it just bounce about. I don't know whether that's a glitch. I think you may have noticed stuff like the replay view and the normal race view that you see. Cars have different liveries as you go to view them back, which is annoying. It's stuff which Project Cars needs to start fixing now. The game's been out a while, and glitches are getting fixed very, very slowly. It is a frustrating task, and I'm sure it's frustrating for the developers, but we want some more updates. Please. Please, we're begging you. And maybe some British touring cars somewhere. Please. We were talking about this the other day. We want some touring cars in here. Some British touring cars, that as well. So as you head down this long swooping left-hander with this track and this car, the Jaguar engine, a 3 litre engine. I think Hamster was saying it's from the Jaguar XJ, the 3 litre engine, which I thought was quite big for this car. It's impressive size engine for this car, seeing as it be a very light car. The thing is with this track, and I don't know whether it's this track and this car or whether it's just a track, if you do not get your line bang on, literally bang on, you will not get a fast time. The track is so frustrating. You have to be so bang on with your line to get that perfect time. I got a 1:22.1 in qualifying, which shocked me because I've been way off that pace when we've been practicing before. I haven't sat on pole position with these cars ever before, never got the fastest time before. That was the first time I got very close to 1:21s. I think it may have took, and there's the first mistake I make, back end totally on, so I've lost out there, down into first gear. Now going up to the corkscrew, here comes Toxic on my right hand side. You may see different colour liveries for some odd reason. He chucks in front of me. Now we have a little battle on our hand for first place. Toxic just in front. See the different lines, but look at the different. Here's a good example of different lines at different pace. He just goes a tad wider. He wouldn't mind on two-way track. Now we go side by side into the final corner, the left-hand bender, just in front Toxic, and I wasn't sure how close he was on the left-hand side of me. So now tucking behind him for the first corner. Get the slipstream. I want the inside line. I have a look, but then I go to the outside. Try around the outside, or try getting a better line on the exit. And there we go. So now we're still tucked in behind Toxic. Just on the brakes. A little wiggle from Toxic. Slow exit. See my opportunity to go down the inside. Braking. And a little bit of contact on the exit. Toxic runs wide. Onto the sand. Drags him in. It was a bit of contact, what may have helped him onto the gravel. You saw the wheel was turned fully to right, it just understeered into the side of him. Wasn't heavy contact, he's still just behind me there. I made that mistake on the previous lap, just clipping the gravel too hard. And that's the risk I say. I was talking about earlier, if you clip that gravel, it will drag you in, and it makes the car spin so easily. So Toxic is literally 0.08 of a second behind me now. The gap was about two and a half seconds. Now back down into the second mark, as you've just seen in the chat box. TBP Matt, who won the last Janetta race, has left. One of the other TBP guys left as well. So as we cross the line onto lap number 7 at 1:25.4, that is a slow lap. That would have got. I was down. Would have been down the order in qualifying if for anywhere near that sort of time. So Toxic now just hanging on to the back end of me. He kept me honest throughout the race, as you saw with a little battle we did have round that one lap, more or less, with a bit of contact. Possibly, well, the understeer didn't help me, but it was a little bit of contact. It was my fault, sort of. But you carry on. You just got to keep your foot down. Now it's all about extending that lap now. Extending that gap, sorry. Because he can really capitalise. If I make another mistake like I did before, he really capitalises on it this time and pulls the gap out on me. Whereas before I had that gap where if I were to make a mistake, and I did make a mistake, I was still round him, sort of. So he's an easy car to get overconfident with. You start getting overconfident with the car, and he's going to cost you big time. I think he's not going to be It's not going to be a small accident, it's going to be a big accident when you become overconfident, because you're going to be going that bit faster, or maybe throwing the car a bit harder into a corner. It's going to be a bigger accident than just a little bump. And maybe before when we were practicing, I may be trying too hard, which does slow you down. When you try too hard, you don't relax. You need to relax and let the car flow around the corners, be smooth with the controls. I think that's what helped me when it came to the race. I was nice and smooth and controlled. Toxic still within a second just behind me, keeping me honest now for these next few laps, being extra cautious of that corner now. You maybe say I had to drop down to third just to get the car moving. This is the little brow of the hill I'm talking about, where the car goes light, you try and brake. This time I don't lock up. There have been many occasions where I have locked up and almost gone straight on. So Cpl Hamster is currently in 3rd place. I think Sponge is hovering around 4th, 5th place. Falcon, I think, is more or less the same. I think he's hovering around just behind him. So it's a race which I've dominated. I've not been able to say that much ever. I don't tend to dominate races like this. I have won races before with these guys, but it tends to be a very close battle at the front. This one is a close battle at the moment. He's not far off the back of me. He's, like I said, he's been keeping me honest, keeping me focused and on the right lines, but the gap is starting to increase. We're to 1.5 seconds. What I've noticed with Toxic, he does run wide onto the gravel. Every so often you'll see him just nipping the gravel or the sand on the outside of the track, and it does cost him quite a bit. But it'll cost any of them quite a bit. Started to take that risk again by clipping the inner corner of sand on that corner. Down into 3rd, 2nd gear, ideal gear for this corner for this car. Down the hill we go, into 4th. Keep it slow. Use the curb on the outside. Swings it back across into 3rd gear. Drop it down a gear, obviously. Back up into 4th. Now this last turn is a lot tighter than it actually looks. It's a very deceiving corner. Use most of the track as possible. Don't get a cut track penalty for using that bit. There you go, 122.7. So that would have, I think that would have been about 2nd, 3rd place in qualifying, that sort of time. So now you can see the gap is 2 seconds, so the gap's increased. We're pulling that gap now. It makes life a lot easier. And there's a marker in the middle of the track. It's a strange place. Knock that out of the way. Through the gears, 5th. But, well, jumped up into 4th for a split second there. Back down into 3rd. Up into 4th gear. Now swing it right. Lifted off the front. I'm being extra cautious now. I've got a lead of about 2.5 seconds now, and it's increasing. There's no need to absolutely cane the car now. It's just keep that consistency. Now we're not allowed to say consistency anymore because well, we're not allowed to say who's consistent, who's not, who's got one lap pace and who's not, because they listen and they go off and practice, and they won the last Janetta race. TBP Matt. We was talking about him in the previous race, I think it was, or maybe a qualifying session or something. We recorded and put on YouTube on my channel, and we explained that he's got extraordinary one lap pace. He absolutely blitzed it, but his consistency wasn't there, and he struggled a bit, and it cost him quite a lot. Now in this race today, I think that may have happened. I'm not too sure. He left the game. Never mind, he did qualify 2nd. I think I shocked him by qualifying 1st. I shocked myself doing that, but I think they went out and listened for the Janetta GT4 Round 3 Championship race, which you can watch on my channel. Just jump back out of this video and go and watch it if you want. Oh, wait till the end of this video, sorry. No, don't jump out. He went and listened to that. Apparently him and TBP RS40 went on to iRacing, doing some longer races to get his consistency up. and it actually worked. So we've been barred from saying who's good and who's not. We're just gonna do a silver thing and say everyone is extremely brilliant and doesn't need to practice, and we'll keep practicing. But that's not gonna happen. I actually prefer it like it is at the moment, where people are practicing, and because it makes it competitive. There's an edge to everything, and everyone's trying to find that extra little second. Now, if I'd not practiced, I would have nowhere near the front of this order. Every car's different. Yes, in real life, every car's different. On the computer games as well, especially on simulated games, every car is absolutely different to drive. Some have grip like this, even though you turn the downforce right down, and warm the tyres up a lot quicker. Some are a lot more oversteer or understeer, and so on. Every car is completely different. When you get to the more arcade games, that's when the cars start feeling more or less the same. And what really makes a difference stand out is using a steering wheel as well. That really makes a difference stand out from each and every car, because that's the way you drive a real car. So obviously the difference in the steering wheel. Now, as you notice, I'm jabbering on about stuff what's not much to do with the race at the moment. So that's because I've got a 4.8 second lead over Toxic in first place on lap 12 as we head down the corkscrew yet again. And you can see in the replay view, nothing behind for a long time. Hamster's, I think at this point he was saying he was about the same sort of distance behind Toxic as he was from me, so I've got about a 10-15 second gap from him. As you may see in the chat just there, Falcon left the race, he blew his engine coming out of one of the corners somewhere on the track, and a 122.7 again from me. Blew his engine. Now, I've done that plenty of times. There is a glitch where I don't know whether it's been fixed actually, where if you change down gear, instead of going down one gear, it goes down the entire gearbox, and if you've got engine damage on and performance damage, it just wipes your engine out and kills it, especially when you're in these sort of positions where you're leading races or you're in the top 3 or 4. When it does stuff like that, it's so frustrating. I saw in the last GT4 championship race, the lag, which cost me, was nothing to do with me. I just got caught up in it, and it cost me so much. So now I've heard this engine's blown, I start taking it a bit easy, short shifting. I've got a 6 and a bit second lead now, so I start short shifting, just easing round the corners. No need to pummel the car. They're lifting off a bit earlier than normal. And when I can see trouble ahead, say if I was on a fast lap in qualifying, getting all out of the car, I'd probably push it to the really outer edge, see how close I can get to the sand. Now it's easing off the throttle, just short shifting the gears, just taking it steady. 123.7, still a decent lap, still decent quick lap. Now 4th, 3rd, 2nd, just easy on the throttle. Lap 14, the gap 6, more or less bang on 6 seconds now. Keep it inside now. I think this is where I start catching up a back marker, which interestingly, well, no, I think the back marker may be just a bit far ahead at the moment. The back marker is Ricky, one of the race organisers. Unfortunately, I'm going to upset him by trying to overtake him. So it's been a very unusual race for me, dominating from the front, extending the gap in a race I didn't think I'd win. I thought I may have come round the top lot there. You can see Ricky in front. One of the back, he's in 11th place, back marker. I didn't think I'd win it, but I thought I'd be near the top. As I keep saying, I'm a more consistent racer than a one lap pace. I'm more consistent. I saw in this race one mistake, a little silly mistake, but I got it back as we enter the last and final lap. A few little updates. Obviously, if you've enjoyed this video, remember to like, subscribe and comment in the comment section below. Also, why don't you jump across and go and have a look at the Virtual Racing Pro league website and the forum. Maybe join it as well. You can join in with some of these races and join in with the championships possibly in the future. Ricky just runs a tad wide there, kicks up all the dust. Also, while I'm having some lag issues with I may not be live streaming on Twitch for the time being until we sort these issues out, but Cpl Hamster will be. So if you jump across to his Twitch channel and watch from his point of view as I just jump past Ricky, who is invisible on the replay view for some odd reason. Well done, Project Cars. Another glitch what needs fixing. Head down the corkscrew for the final time. And also go and check out Cpl Hamster's YouTube page. He's just started getting back into it. He's only done 2 videos up to now, but go and check them. They're very good and they sound a lot more professional than I do with my jibber jabber. When he does his result page, it's like watching BBC Grandstand in the evening. So it's not a bad thing. So here we go to cross the line in first place. A great victory, a dominant victory mainly in these Palmer Jaguars here at Laguna Seca. So please remember, if you've enjoyed this race and enjoyed this video, please remember to like, subscribe and comment in the comment section below. I've been Demstorm51 and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.